In view is the liver and the right kidney in longitudinal section. This is the right kidney, this is the liver, and as I move the probe towards the right lower abdominal quadrant, then sparing the lower pole of the right kidney. Now see, this is the lower pole of the right kidney, this is the kidney. As I will show you again, this is the kidney. This is the lower pole of the right kidney, and separate from its capsule is seen a cystic area with internal echoes measuring approximately, you see now measuring 5.1, 4.3 centimeters, and you see there are echoes within it. These are all echoes within it. And this is the right iliopsoas muscle. This is a small lymph node seen, and there is protrusion of the lumen of the another segment of the bowel within this cystic area, which is consistent with an abscess formation. And you will see now I am going to move the probe further towards the right upper abdominal quadrant, and here you will see that this cystic area communicates with this segment bowel, this distended segment bowel. This is the distended segment bowel, this one, in the region of the right upper abdominal quadrant. And you can see movements within it. And as I go medially, I can see that there is protrusion of the lumen of this distended bowel into this cystic area, which is consistent with an abscess or pocket or a flexion. Now you see this is the lumen, where this is the lumen of the bowel of this segment protruding into the another bowel segment. Here you can see. Okay. And now you can see there is a very few, the peristaltic movements are not seen. I am placing the probe stable in this location. This is the distended segment of one of the many distended segment bowel, and meager, very slow peristaltic movements will be seen if I place the probe over here, and then again moving upwards, it becomes continuous with the thin walled cystic area medial to this. Now you can see movement. You can see movement. This is the movement of the distended bowel. It's moving towards this segment. I have placed the probe. I am going to place the probe stable in one location so that you can see the movement. Here you see this is the movement of the food material and the liquid within this distended bowel. Okay, and in this view you can see the lower pole of the right kidney. This is the cystic part of the protruding from the distended bowel, this one in the right upper abdominal quadrant, with very meager peristaltic movement. This is the lumen of the bowel. It can be this lumen can be that of this segment of the distended bowel that is hypoechoic and has echoes within it. And this is the lymph node that I will show you once more. An associated lymph node is seen adjacent. There is another lymph node. This is the, excuse me, let me first confirm whether it is a lymph node or not. If it changes its shape, it's not a lymph node. So it does not change its shape, it remains the same. This is the lymph node, associated adjacent lymph node relating to this bowel pathology. And now I'm going to move the probe downwards and metathelially, and here you will see in the dependent region of the abdomen distended bowels with small amount of fluid between. See the movement between these. This is fluid. This is the food material or fluid within this distended bowel. You can see the movements within it. See the movement among these 1, 2, 3, and 4 segments of bowel that are in front of you. These are distended, and here this is the urinary bladder. This is the urinary bladder. You can see fluid between these distended bowel loops, which is called interloop fluid. All over the abdominal segments, such. See the movement of the food material and the gas. You've seen the churning movement, you can see. And see the movement. Okay, now this is the right lower abdominal body. Same findings. However, when I move the probe towards the epigastric region, there are massive bowel gas shadows. Nothing can be seen posterior to these massive bowel gas. Now this is I am moving the probe in transverse section from epigastric region down up to the umbilical region here, and nothing can be seen posteriorly because of these massive bowel gas shadowing, which is suggestive of peritonitis as well. This view I am getting from the right lateral location, from the lumbar region. I move the probe upwards and then I get this area. So this is a case of intestinal obstruction with impending peritonitis, and most probable cause can be Cox infection. Thank you very much. Now you see in this case, this is the distended bowel segment, and we can see this one that has been transformed into a cystic area with echoes within it, and the lumen is protruding, and you can see that these two, it's protruding into this bowel segment. This is bowel segment number 1, this is bowel segment number 2, and what we see is that they both communicate with each other, and there is extension of this fluid material within this lateral bowel segment adjacent to this one. From here they are communicating with each other. Let us see in this view. Here you can see they are communicating with each other. So extension of this abscess formation in this possible distended dilated bowel segment is extending into the adjacent bowel segment. So there is extension of this fluid material from this bowel segment in the right upper quadrant of the abdomen into the adjacent bowel. So see this. So this is in case of intestinal obstruction with interleukocytes and abscess formation of one of the bowel segments in the right upper lower quadrant of the, and this is the area. This is suggestive of abscess formation and the extension of this fluid material within the adjacent bowel segment. Adjacent lymph node was also seen, and we saw massive peristaltic movements in this case. And so that is definitely suggestive of intestinal obstruction. This can be due to localized process, as for example this region, and it can be due to mechanical obstruction because of again this region, and it can be a systemic infection, most probably in our region. It can be a cold abscess in the mentioned region. So Cox infection as a cause of all the mentioned abnormalities leading to intestinal obstruction and peritonitis is the sonographic finding. Thank you very much.